Hello, everyone. Haxley Gomez here, and you can find me at Haxley GV on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, wherever you need to find me. Haxley GV is where you can usually find me at. And this week, my usual host Mai is not here. She is currently away on a road trip with her fiance. So today we have my good friend Jeffrey. But yeah,
Word.
while my friend's away, Los Jefes will play, I guess.
Yes, sir. Let them have a show attached. I personally am not that much of a fan of Boruto, but I also haven't given it a chance past the filler bits of the anime. So I'm not gonna say it's bad.
Yeah, I dropped it pretty early on. I know that, so I don't know where it's at right now. But that's just the feeling I got that it isn't meant for us. It's meant for the next generation to fall in love with, and I'm okay
Yeah,
with that. I'm not gonna say it's bad because it took a step back from where the Shippuden went.
yeah.
It's just fostering the next generation, which is fine because it's their kids as kids.
Like I believe the writer for it
The
was a fan, right?
He was an assistant, I thought.
Oh, it was his assistant.
I could be
Um,
wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was like his assistant.
yeah. I mean, it would make the most sense if it was assistant, because that way he would actually be able to have like the connections he has in the story rather than just being a super fan.
Yeah. I've also been watching My Hero Academia. Are you caught up with My Hero Academia?
I have been reading My Hero Academia.
I do both. So,
Oh, you do both? I might be like a chapter or two behind,
oh, you're not
but
caught up in the manga yet? Oh man, today's chapter was very interesting. I would love to talk about that.
oh, it's very interesting. Well, I mean, by all means, if you want to talk about it, you're free to. I don't mind the spoilers.
Um,
Uh,
I guess there's nothing in,
or if you've had things like that, stretch
not
with it.
there's not too much of spoilers. It's still just going on. Now it's just like still dealing up with like the criminals that escaped when Shigaraki and his crew broke out a bunch of people. This time we were focusing on Hawk's Best Genius and Endeavor stopping some criminals and
No,
the public like being angry at them saying it's their fault for letting Shigaraki get away and how like the relatives of everyone who died in that battle are mad and trying to sue them or something.
okay, okay. I'm definitely this arc of or this arc and the last arc of My Hero has definitely been a really good transition for the story. I've been enjoying it a lot. So I do like that they're focusing.
On those Best Genius, Hawks, and Endeavor are a little bit worried because things have been quiet for some of the bigger heavy hitters that escaped, and they've been having Deku act alone to be as bait for All for One Shigaraki, and they're just trying to figure out what is All for One's entire plan really, and it ended with a villain. But all I know is apparently Blade is the only one who remembers the old world with the Avengers.
Blade, interesting.
For whatever reason, Blade
That is actually
was the report from the Hollywood Reporter reporting that Warner Brothers is going to make the next Superman movie be led by a black actor.
yes. I
And what our thoughts it? I just want to clear some things off. Obviously, this is not like official announcement from Warner Brothers. These are from insiders talking to reporters, and the insiders mentioned there's no script, there's no directors, so a lot of things can change. And this doesn't necessarily mean Henry Cavill is no longer Superman, because this could easily just be an Elseworld story like they did with the Joker movie. And I'm pretty sure Batman with Robert Pattinson is also supposed to be an Elseworld story, like not
yeah.
connected to anything.
He's Earth 2, I believe.
Yeah. So this could it could be a full on replacement, and this is a new direction they're going with, or it could easily be its own separate adventure, not connected to anything else. I just want to put that down before people go all crazy.
All right, yeah, that's good. When I first heard the announcement, I did have mixed feelings of it, but I think I was only reading headlines, so I was really confused on what was going on.
Yeah, a lot of people were just going straight to they're making Clark Kent black, and it's like,
I was like,
well,
I don't think they ever said Clark Kent.
so I don't know what the. I read it like twice. I didn't see Clark Kent. I was reading again today, and I saw it say Cal L. So I don't know if it was like another article or an update or something. But then again, it could just be the reporters not knowing and putting that in because again, we don't have a script, we don't have a director, so things could easily change to be Calvin Ellis or Val Zod.
The thing is, Calvin Ellis, though it's spelled a little differently, his
His
name is
name
also
is Kal-El, yeah, without the
yeah,
hyphen, right?
yeah, it's just no hyphen, nothing. So I even if they might have just spelled it wrong because I mean, like, what do they care? They probably haven't read a comic book in their life. Uh,
Yeah, it's not like it's coming from the CBR or a comic book thing. It's a Hollywood Reporter, and they deal with more Hollywood news and comic book news, so they could just not know better. That is a possibility.
and honestly, I am excited. I would like a Black Superman movie. Honestly, I think it would be interesting. I don't want it to be Clark, so that's the only thing I hope like the rumors aren't true about or anything like that. That it's not Clark Kent. I don't feel like there's any reason to meet for it to be Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really push anything.
It
You
doesn't
know?
really change much if it's Clark Kent. I agree. But then again, I don't know. I've always been the mindset where when it comes to some characters, I don't think race really matters for most characters. And I feel like Clark Kent is one of those where as long as he just brings hope, anyone could be Clark Kent. It could be black, Spanish. Like, his character is not tied to a race.
Oh,
Like,
because he's an alien at the
yeah.
end of the day. At the end of the day, and I think that's one thing people like fail to understand. Like he's an alien. I just don't really think there's any point in doing it. So for me, I look at the company because it's like you're just give like feeding me like bits and pieces of nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like oh I'm doing this to appease the black people who want
Yeah.
representation. So like
I've,
that's how I feel when I see that.
I would be
You know?
honestly be upset that if they give us a Clark Kent story, him being black, but him being black has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Especially since
Or it would
the
be a very
Hollywood.
like watered down discussion of race, which would be more hurtful and better. Because like, and here's the thing. This is why the difference I put, and obviously the movie's not out, so I can't really say this for sure. But this is why like there's an importance to Black Panther, right? Because it shows a lot of a lot of the beauty of Africa and Black people, and it shows the king side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very regal, very mighty.
So that movie is great and wonderful because it upholds and brings up black people as a unit, and that's nice. Wakanda became a thing, all that trend stuff
Yeah.
like that. I don't know if they would be able to do the same thing with like a Black Superman movie. I'm not saying that's their intention,
So
but like I don't know if they would be able to do it with a Black Clark Kent specifically.
yeah, but I've also haven't really read anything with Calvin Ellis or Val Zod or anything. So I don't know how intrinsic their race is to that. I guess I did read the New 52 Earth 2, and Val Zod's race didn't really have anything to do with it. It was more him being agoraphobic and afraid to go outside and trying to fight that.
See, like the whole thing is, I don't even think race has to do anything with it. I would just like to simply to see a black hero be great.
Yeah,
Is how I feel.
like
Like that's the thing. Like what I touched on with Black Panther. Like, I just like seeing a black hero be great, so I don't mind that. Like I know Calvin Ellis, and I heard this secondhand or I read it somewhere. I do know he was like the president. I think.
he's President Superman, and a lot of people also called him Obama Superman because he looked like Obama. I think when he was drawn,
That's kind of cool. I like that.
but I don't know much else about him. I didn't read any of the Calvin Ellis stories. I'm only really familiar with Clark Kent and Val Zod from Earth 2.
Yeah, if they do a black Superman, I don't want them to alter Clark's story too much, right? But it also depends on the kind of Superman you like. Like, did you like the Henry Cavill Superman?
No, I did not. I found him too like angry and mopey for my taste. I have always seen Superman to be cheery and hopeful, which might be the reason I don't read Superman because I don't really want to read that. But
Yeah,
I was like, I don't like this. He's not really Superman either.
yeah. The integrity was kind of gone. But it was originally supposed to be, if I remember correctly, Man of Steel was supposed to be its own thing. It wasn't even supposed to be connected originally.
I don't
So
know
I guess it
about
was
that.
fine. It was an Elseworld story, and I don't mind them going into like a different psychological point of view with Superman.
Yeah.
Um,
Obviously, he drew more inspiration from Injustice. I feel like I've heard him say
yeah, it was like Injustice or what was it? The Dark Knight Rises
Dark Knight
comics.
Rises comics that he got his
Yeah,
inspirations from, which are probably not the greatest source material.
not for a hero story.
No.
I think my only thing is like, what kind of Black Superman would we be getting?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get like more in line with the Zack Snyder, the Mopey angry one, or
No.
are we gonna get like a genuinely iconic Superman. Preferably, I have you seen Man of Tomorrow?
Man of Tomorrow, no, the animated movie,
Yeah,
no. But I, if anything, I would like to see more of a Brandon Roth Superman, or I forget his name. He's playing Superman and Superman Lois. I like his Superman. Tom something, right? Could be wrong about the Tom part. I'm gonna be honest.
I do know what he's talking. I have watched Superman. I do like him as Superman a lot.
I think he's a good Superman. He does a good job of transitioning from being Clark Kent and Superman. I feel like
exactly. I think that's well done. If we do get a Black Superman, I would want it to be more in that style. You know, the more aspiration. You know, if you're gonna do a Superman movie or a Superman show, like one of the most important aspects of Superman is for him to be someone people should aspire to be like. He's supposed to be an ideal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you see him, you know you're fine, you're safe. It's not like you're in Gotham and things are gonna go crazy at any moment. Superman will make sure everything's fine forever. He is not gonna fail. He's not gonna murder people. He is gonna rescue the day.
Exactly. Like that's what I hope for. If they give me that kind of Superman, and they find a way to incorporate race properly into it, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Don't know how I feel with it being W. I just don't trust WB anymore at this point. I'll be real with you. I would be very interested in the Black Superman. I think it would depend on who's directing it.
Yeah, which we don't know. We don't have a script. We don't know who's gonna star. We don't know anything. Like everything's still up in the air. We just know this is what the insiders at Warner Bros. Are saying. And people are also mad that the announcement came on Henry Cavill's birthday, but it's like that has nothing to do with Warner Bros. It's not an official announcement.
That's true. If anything, that was probably whoever released the article's intent to like kind of make it seem like a WP shady kind of
like.
That's not.
This is not an official announcement. This is insiders. I don't know why you guys are getting mad that Warner Bros. Fired Henry Cavill on his birthday. It's like, for all we know, he's not fired. They could still do more movies with him because we don't know what's going on with that. This could just be an Elseworld story. Because, like,
I'm sure WB recognizes the value that Henry Cavill has. It's because it's not like Henry Cavill's a bad actor.
Mm-hmm.
By no means, I don't think WB is so shady to go out their way to fire Henry on his birthday or to announce a new Superman. Like they're not. That's so unprofessional. That's dumb.
Yeah,
it's nothing against Henry. It is kind of upsetting that everyone thinks it's like that. It's convenient that it's like that.
It's just convenient, but it could just be someone just making more clickbait. Like, oh, this came out on his birthday.
Yeah, it's definitely to amount the most clicks on an article that they can in the moment.
Yeah.
Like these second party outlets for these news, they don't really have, like some have integrity obviously, but they don't have moral integrity. Like
yeah, I'm not expecting the Hollywood Reporter to have that much integrity. It seems like more of a gossip piece. I don't know anything about the Hollywood Reporter, but they seem to be more. The name suggests more gossip of Hollywood.
Now, when WB announces it out their mouth,
yeah,
then I'll say but I don't think, especially with the whole Ray Fisher thing going on right now, I don't think they want that kind of heat on them either. So
yeah,
some could argue that Superman is black because of this Ray Fisher thing, but I wouldn't know. That's just conspiracy.
I wouldn't know. I'm not in, like, I can't say anything because I'm not in the know of Warner Bros. To know exactly what's happened because, like, I've heard Ray Fisher's side, but again, that's just his sides. I don't know what the investigation led to and what the full story is. Like, I only know one side of the story. And as a researcher, I don't like making claims when I only know one fact, one side of thing.
Exactly. Which I can agree with. Though, like I said, if what Ray Fisher saying is true, 100%, obviously. But like I said, I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I've only read like the surface level stuff on it, so I do feel bad.
It was a better movie than the Whedon cut, but it wasn't the greatest movie, I feel like.
No, it was not the greatest movie. I enjoyed it. Like the first time I watched it the second time, then it just went down to like kind of how I felt about Endgame. Just kind of like very mediocre film for me.
To be fair, I wanted to be on top of things, so I watched it first thing in the morning, like at 6 or 7 a.m. So I was already tired, and then it just felt like it dragged on forever, and with so much slow-mo effects. Like I was just like, okay, slow-mo's a really cool effect, but the more you use it, the less power it has.
It is 100% just like a Snyder like thing.
I feel like a
I
lot.
don't know
I haven't seen
what
all
their
his movies,
expression
but
is.
the movies I have seen, he loves using slow mo and he loves CGI.
Because it does actually ruin a lot of, because like, because you even see it in the first scene of that movie with Wonder Woman,
Mm-hmm.
during the bank heist. Like, I almost was gonna be upset when I first saw that scene because I thought it was all gonna be a slow mo, and then they sped it up, and I was like, you see, like when you don't just do all slow mo, like you actually can feel the intensity, like in this scene.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what is going on with that. I don't see Snyder. You know, he wanted people to watch it in 4:3. I don't know what the.
I was so mad at that part when I was like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know.
Why is this movie in so much slow mo everywhere?
But
Some of these scenes are not needed. Like, sure, seeing the atom is cool, but it wasn't necessary. We could have done without it, and have because like people can only watch so much.
yeah, they definitely had things they could have cut, like that weird scene where everyone's singing and this girl is sniffing Aquaman's clothes.
Yeah,
I don't
I remember that. I was like, so
even.
do they just wait around the beach anytime Aquaman leaves and comes and sing this as a ritual? Or is this just like the first time they've ever done this? Which either case is really weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. I get the idea behind it. They're trying to make it like known that they look at him as like a god-like being. It just felt really weird in that moment because it was kind of random.
What?
Because you don't really see them like praising him like a god-like being that much. You saw him in the house, all
Just
them
drinking,
beer
you
and
know?
smoking together.
And then when it comes to leaving, they either sung for the first time ever and they smelling his coat for the first time ever, or if they have done this multiple times.
That's
And
right.
Aquaman has never stopped them.
Never. I mean, what's he gonna say? He's single. I don't know. Uh,
And then there was like just some of the music choices, like Wonder Woman's theme. Oh god.
they could have changed. They could have changed the score.
That's something I say, like, usually Warner Bros. Has amazing scores for their movies. This one was a complete miss for its score.
Yeah. All the scores were a little. They were pretty missed. But like I said, I did like the direction they went. With Cyborg for the movie, it makes the movie make entirely more sense. And I, for the life of me, don't understand why they cut all that in the Whedon cut. But I can understand why people are, or at least why most people are skeptical on the whole Black Superman thing. Well, except for like the race. People are, Superman has to be white. It's the only way. Every character is white, and they should just stay white because why should a character evolve?
Like all those people who were mad about Sam Wilson taking up his shield. And it was like, it should have been Bucky. And it's like, no. It seemed like
It doesn't really.
no, Sam seemed like the best choice. Bucky still had so much guilt to deal with. He probably doesn't even feel like he's up for it yet. Like, I know he crossed out the book, but that doesn't mean inside he truly feels like he's there yet. He's not gained redemption.
Honestly, the show I think represented it really well because at least we saw like why Sam Wilson is worthy. You know, the show made me like Sam Wilson more. I hated Falcon as a character. Well, I didn't hate him, but I was just like I didn't care for Falcon.
I didn't care for him. He didn't really have much to do in any of the other, but he got there. He got there in the end.
Like we saw the compassion. Like I said, in terms of why I didn't say this, but I said to my friends before, that one of the best representations I saw of like a hero doing hero things was probably that conversation he had with what's her name, Carly.
Mm-hmm.
When he's trying to convince her like what she's doing is wrong, like she's trying to end fascism, joining in with fascism. Like she's like one step away from it, explaining all that stuff. I thought that was a really nice scene. He's not just punch first, which was nice because that's what Steve Rogers was.
Yeah.
That's like Bucky taking the scene was perfect. Like sorry, not Bucky. Sam taking the scene was perfectly fine. Like no, it shouldn't be that big a deal. Like what's the real reason?
Exactly. It's like, nope. I was also mad when people were liking John Walker. Like, why? Why do you like this guy? He does not seem like a likable character.
He was a pitiable. I felt bad for him at certain scenes. Not very like.
I don't think I felt bad at him at any. I agree with Bucky with every time they made fun of it.
Yeah.
Okay. But moving on. So what diversity of comics? So obviously another thing the article mentioned later on is Blue Beetle and Static Shock being fast tracked, and they're so. What were our thoughts about a Blue Beetle and Static Shocks coming in? Not the same movie, but two separate, and the representation they're gonna have. Because I know a lot of people who are upset about the Black Superman were upset because there are other amazing characters who are black that could take on the role. Like people were mentioning Icon, Static Shock. What is he called? Man of Steel.
Oh, he's just called Steel.
Steel, Rocket. Forget who else was mentioned, but I was like, we are getting Static Shock. Static Shock actually, I think, has a script, so they're further ahead than the Superman is. So we'll probably get that before Superman.
So what I would say, first of all, Static Shock is over. I don't even know why it took so long to even reach this point.
So one of the main reasons it's gone to this point is because Static Shock is like co-owned by DC, and the other half is co-owned by Milestone Comics.
Oh,
so it's just been a lot of contract negotiations. So like, Static Shock has appeared in shows and stuff and comics, and then he has to be taken off because like something happened and they're disputing things. From what I've heard, the people at Milestone wanted to continue, but it's the widower of the founder of Milestone. She has not liked the direction, so she's usually been the one responsible for Static Shock being taken off Young Justice, Static Shock being delayed for the movie wise.
Okay, well, all right, for that, then I'm more forgiving.
So,
and I do like that she's trying to keep the integrity of her character, so I'm not even going to say I'm mad at her either.
So it's always just been more contract disputes between the three parties: the widower, the people at Milestone, and DC. And it seems like DC and Milestones want to go ahead all the time. They want to push the comics and the shows, while the widower is like, no.
Well, I mean, that's because she doesn't like the direction of the character, right? Like, she just doesn't want them
could be
to, like, yeah.
I don't know if it's the direction or if there's money. Like, she wants more money from it. I don't know. I'm not part of the contract negotiation.
If it's money, I'm upset. If it's just her, like, worried about the integrity of the character, I'm all for it. Because, I can understand.
Because, like, I didn't think the integrity of the character for Static Shock was going bad when it came to the Young Justice cartoon. And I actually did not read the Static Shock comic, so I don't know how that was going for the character.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the comics. I don't remember much from the Young Justice show of, like, how his character was like.
I just remember it was coming out, like, maybe 3 issues came out, and then it got suddenly, like, canceled because of contracts issues or something.
I'm gonna have to look into that, because that's actually really interesting. Because, like, everybody loved Static Shock, at least when it came out as the cartoon back in the day.
A lot of people loved it. It was getting a lot of hype. Milestone was very appreciated for the increase in sales, and DC was their publishing house that was publishing the comics that Milestone made. But it wasn't just Static. It was like all of Milestone's comic characters were stopping published because the widow of the founder was having trouble with DC. Or
I hope that gets situated then, because that's so annoying. I would literally love to see Static. That is definitely a big movie, a lot bigger than I think even a lot of fans realize. It's a very big movie if they can get that done.
Yeah, I mean, from last I heard, DC and Milestone both made an announcement that everything's settled, everything's okay, and they're pushing onwards. They have announced a new Static Shock comic book, and the Static Shock movies being fast paced because they've had the script for a while.
Okay, I'm definitely gotta check out this Static Shock comic book.
I don't know when it's gonna come out, but I know it was announced to come out soon. Not just Static Shock, but a lot of the other Milestone characters are also getting comic books, of course, with this new deal.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited.
So it's always just been a lot of hands in the same bowl, so it's always been hard to get the Milestone characters going, if anything.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Blue,
I like
Blue Beetle, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure he's just a DC character. I don't think he's another comic. And even then, it's like, I love Blue Beetle. I love when he show up. But I honestly don't know what he would do on a solo. I've enjoyed him teamed up with, like, the Teen Titans, teamed up with Batman and Batman the Brave and the Bold cartoon.
From what I know, because from my brother, from what I know, I'm pretty sure his story is supposed to be really intertwined with Booster Gold.
Yes. Ted Kord had the Scarab. He didn't wear the Scarab, so he made his own suit, like a Batman-esque suit, because he couldn't get the Scarab to work for him. And then there's an explosion at Kord Industries. The Scarab goes flying. It attaches to Jaime Reyes, and Booster Gold kind of takes him under his wing because that's what Ted Kord, his best friend, would have loved, the previous Blue Beetle.
I see. So you think if they did make a movie like that, it'd be like that?
Maybe. I would honestly love to see Booster Gold.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Booster
I would
Gold's
hope so.
hilarious. And
I
now
think
that you mention it, I think a Blue and Gold comic was announced or a Blue Gold TV show for HBO. I will have
oh
to look in.
oh that'd be because like it would make a lot of sense because like you said, I don't know any of like Lone Stories. I don't even does he have a standalone comic? I'm not sure.
He did at some point. I did not read it when it was coming out, to be honest.
Okay, well if he has a standalone comic, that's good. Because like I don't know any of his Lone Stories. But I mean, by all means, I didn't care for Green Arrow until Arrow came out. So
I do remember when New 52 came out, he was one of the characters who started the New 52. Static Shock had his own run in the New 50, a bunch of other people.
okay.
I think that one just got canceled because of low sales. I don't know much about it.
Ooh, that's tragic, man. Probably because like new. I don't know how. I don't think the New 52 had a good rep. And I didn't like the New 52 universe that much.
The New 52
So,
was catering for newer readers, so a lot of older comic book readers were not enjoying it because like everything they were reading before no longer in continuity because everything started over.
it's just gonna be how it is every time they have a crisis. But I am happy and excited to get a Blue Beetle movie. I think they do need like do this diversity build with their
Yeah,
you know I
because
think it's
I
important.
don't think Marvel doesn't have like a Spanish character. I guess they have Ghost Rider from Agents of Shield, Robbie Reyes, but
Right,
that's a TV show.
that's true. Yeah, even Marvel I think needs to step up with that as well.
I mean, I
'Cause
guess
they have opportunities.
I guess
They're working on it.
their new Falcon Spanish, right?
Oh, I didn't even know there was new Falcon.
The guy
was
that
weird.
Sam gave his old wings to. He's like
Was that in the show?
Joaquin
Is that what
Torres.
you said?
Yeah, Falcon the Winter Soldier. Joaquin Torres, I think his name was. He becomes a Falcon in the comic.
Oh, okay.
But his
Well, that's
Falcon has like actual bird wings. Like he grows bird.
interesting. That's really interesting.
I'm assuming they're going away from that and just giving him Sam's old wings. Just how they went away from Sam having Red Wing being a bird to a drone.
That's true. Because I think I remember in the old comics, Falcon had like some telepathic connection
Yeah,
with birds.
yeah. He could
Somehow.
see what the birds see. I don't think it had to be his bird. I think it could be any bird.
Which that's interesting because I remember trying to read up on Falcon, just trying to learn his character. I don't think they really explained why he had that, but
I can't tell you why. I don't know.
well,
Yeah,
hey, I'm here for it.
he had
Like,
wingsuits, and for some reason, he could talk to birds and see it out of birds' eyes.
Like I am super excited for this diversity push. I love that we're getting Shang-Chi. I love that we're getting possibly Static Shock and possibly Blue Beetle. Like I love it. I wish we would see more of it. Because I think it's very important that the minorities get to see themselves being a hero as well.
Yeah, like obviously
Yeah.
we just had Aquaman become white to Polynesian, which worked out. I don't think anyone was really mad about it. Like people were just like Jason Momoa, sure.
It's just more.
What like? Do you remember any backlash about changing Aquaman? Really?
No, I do not recall any back.
But Clark
Right.
Kent, oh, it's completely different. Or Superman in general, like we don't even know it's Clark Kent.
Like that, like people are just like appalled at the idea of the strongest character is a minority. No,
Oh.
maybe I don't know. Let me not be. I'm sure some people might have actual like story gripes with it, or are just in love with the old image of it. But like again, culture changes. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
If it's not the same as it was 50 years ago.
Like as long as it's not like directly entwined, I'm okay with stuff like that. Like Arthur Curry's backstory has nothing to do with being white. It has nothing to do with being Polynesian. It has to do with him being half Atlantean, which isn't real.
Exactly. Like if a major part of his character arc hasn't been established by his race, then it shouldn't matter. Superman's race does not fucking matter. He's Krypton.
There's probably very select few characters where it probably does matter what race they are. Like Black Panther, his race totally matters. It totally matters.
Yeah.
It's not, I was about to say it probably matters. No, it totally matters.
He has to. There's no way.
Unless they, for some reason, they decide we're going albino, but he's still African. But no, that's a long shot still.
Yeah, but like in those scenarios, like it doesn't matter because they're aliens, or like their race doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything. The Flash being black doesn't change anything for him.
It
It doesn't stop him from being
it doesn't
the
change.
Flash.
Yeah, but then out of nowhere, we still got Wally West and Wallace West. It's like, was this necessary? I feel like it wasn't, but I guess if people were
Yeah,
gonna be that angry about it,
and like people getting super upset, especially for these kind of characters, like it just shows the kind of
yeah. I know one character I thought about that would make sense. Dick Grayson would make so much sense to be Asian in today's time because
you think so?
like he's a circus kid, and back in the day, a lot of circus were like Romanian, but nowadays you have Circus Soleil, you have a lot of like Chinese acrobats and circuits, and less Romani, European descent circus people. I feel like, or maybe I'm just seeing different circuses around nowadays.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I don't know much about circuses and like the races that are portraying them, but like if that's the case, yeah, why not? Like, and like I said, him being Asian honestly doesn't change his.
He just needs to be from the circus, and it just so happens like back in the day, I feel like people from European ancestry made the most of circus, but nowadays there's been a lot of shifts towards like Asian circuses. Also,
yeah, like
especially since I feel like a lot of the European ones were more focused on the animal training aspect, which we're moving away from, while all the Chinese circus were more acrobatics and contortionists.
I'm not too hip on the subject matter, but
I mean, I have not done in-depth research, but when I go into the metro or stuff and I see or if I see a newspaper for a circus in town, it's almost always like Circus Soleil, and there's another big one. I forget its name. I should look it up. I'm gonna put it in this video later when I edit it. But I don't know. I just feel so many Asian circuses.
I'm totally okay with Dick being Asian. Like, why not?
Yeah,
why not?
It's like I feel like Dick, Jason, Tim. I was like blanking on who the other Robin was. Oh my god.
the underused Robin Tim.
The underused Robin Tim. Their race don't matter as much. What matters is Dick being the acrobat, Jason being from the street, Tim being the detective and smart and rich.
Yeah, that like don't.
Damien might still matter. Damien still probably matters since Ra's al Ghul, Middle Eastern. A lot of Damien might be one of the few whose race matters.
Well, isn't Damien white passing?
It really depends on who's writing him or who's drawing him.
I've only ever seen him as white passing, so I
So yeah. I guess Damien's race matters. Superman's doesn't really matter. Supergirl doesn't really matter. I don't know. I feel iffy about Batman, honestly. But it's mostly because his money comes from really old world money.
See, that's actually a good argument for that. It's probably the best argument I've heard about. His money is more from lineage, not just like he came up.
Yeah. If he was self-made, I would say it didn't matter. Maybe in a couple years, I would say it doesn't matter. But based on how old I think Batman should be, and how old his parents and his grandparents and how they might take it, his race might still matter a little bit. But that's just my deep thinking. It was like, his grandparents might not approve, and he might lose all his money.
And like I said, Bruce Wayne specifically, not like any other Batman.
Yeah.
There's a different Batman, it's whatever. Or like one of the Wonder Womans.
Honestly, I would love if they bring Yara Flores. She's the brand new Wonder Woman from Brazil that they did in Future State. I don't know if you read any of her.
No, I actually haven't. I think I've only read the Batman Future State so far. I haven't read any of the others yet. I've been wanting to.
The Wonder Woman one, I think was amazing. I loved it. I'm iffy on the character Yara Flores because she's pretty cocky. She reminds me of a lot of Korra. But the art in that book and the insight into Aztec mythology was beautifully and amazing.
Oh. Okay. You definitely piqued my interest with that. I'm definitely gonna pick up some issues of that.
Like, I love the story. I love the art. I love all this Aztec mythology that I don't really know much about. And made me intrigued to learn more. It was just, Yara Flores is very cocky. And